Hey guys, and servus from Vienna. Today we're gonna speak about the current altcoin pump. And when I say current pump, I say this because it has already started. And if you don't want to miss out on this pump, you should watch this video until the very end because I will show you some major altcoin picks that you should pay close attention to. Generally speaking, there are four major topics I want to discuss with you today. First of all, what is the current market situation? What can we even expect from a pump right now? Secondly, which ecosystems do you need to pay close attention to not miss the pump? Thirdly, what could be the next narrative after the AI narrative is over? And last but not least, I'm going to show you some particular altcoin picks that I made for you. So if you also want to know them, stick with me until the end of the video. Obviously, nothing here is financial advice, just so you know, this is what I'm doing, and let's move into it. So let's start with the market status. You have seen a lot of coins in the top 100 are pumping again. It's in the end, it's Grandpa Bitcoin that kind of says we are not yet done. We're gonna probably push one more time to the upside. We're already pumping. Some coins pump already that pumped before. Mina Protocol, Randa. If we check the Bitcoin chart here, so Bitcoin has actually taken this support here from this trend line. Trend lines are usually a very weak support in relation to other supports like the horizontal ones, but it can always help. And as you see here, Bitcoin has taken it as a support and is scraping towards 23,000 US dollars again. So what do we see next? We see still the resistance around that 25K level. It's not taken out. We have been rejected actually even below it last time. So so it's very hard to say usually where resistance starts. A lot of people are front running this. They draw the same lines, like everyone is showing resistance here. And as a reaction to this, the big traders, the smart traders, they are actually starting to sell earlier. And if they do that in a bigger dimension, it can cause a pump or a dump even before the level is reached. On the other hand, we see this big support down here on these levels that we have stayed so many months in. This is our downside game. So when we go up and we are rejected again, then this is definitely a level to spot. Obviously, we could bump down here on this trend line as well, but this should be a very, very strong and significant level for us for the case, as I showed you last time, that we only have a mild pullback and we're going to move to the upside after this. A lot of these things will be dependent on the general economic situation. However, I want to say here today that crypto is very strong. We have seen this with recent bad news about the BUSD, about the SEC in America cracked down on several businesses and Kraken story, Paxos story, and so on and so forth, right? And the market still said, well, I still want to not dump. I still want to go up. So the market is very strong. And therefore, I believe that we will crash this resistance probably this time. And when we do, we will move the way up here towards the 30,000 level, which is a major resistance here on this chart. However, to be honest, I believe we will stop a bit below it because, as I said before, front running became a bigger and bigger thing. charts are better, the data is better, there is more and more good data on the whole market available, and the more data is available, the more people will start to front run the market. So we will always see most likely we will see things happening before resistance or support is even reached. So it could be that we see the buybacks on the 20K already. Also, since this is a very psychological strong level, obviously, so we could see that buybacks not happening all the way down here on the bottom. They could happen just like here at the 20K level already. That would mean that, if we dump down, we should place our orders. I am definitely in for 21. I'm in for 20. I'm in for cheaper. Like I'm placing my orders all over the place because I believe that the big bull run has started. No matter, some people talk, we go to like 13K or something, but still think about it. The upside to 100K or more, like even if we only go to the all-time high, which is very unlikely, even then the upside is bigger than the downside, right? So we could lose a bit of percentage down there. Let's actually measure it. From here all the way to this worst case scenario that some people paint, it would be like 40% actually, but 40% is still not as much as we could gain if we just go to the upside. We have already to the all-time high about 180 to 190%, which is almost tripling the amount that you put in today. So it's a no-brainer. It's just a question when it will happen. Will it happen end of the year? Will it happen next year? Or will it happen, who knows, right? So therefore, you need to be patient, and you never ever, like what I do is never ever put money in that I need tomorrow to buy food, to pay rent. Don't do that. Just don't take a loan for that or so. This would be betting like going to the casino. Instead, you should think with a longer time horizon. This strategy will only make you win. So the cheaper you get in now, the better for you. But even if you buy today and we dump a couple of thousand down, well, then you need to wait for the recovery. It's not a bad issue. So do your decisions and place your orders wisely. Obviously, this is what I am doing and not my advice to you. But before we talk too much about the market situation, I know a lot of channels have talked about the BUSD stuff with Paxos, have talked about other market impulses that happened and the situation here. I want to rather move on. What is the ecosystem, or what are the ecosystems that these next pumps will happen in? What ecosystems do we need to look closer at? And I will show that to you next here. If you like this kind of content, make sure you don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to not miss any updates. What will be the ecosystems that actually see the most pump? Because Bitcoin is grandpa Bitcoin, right? It doesn't do much more than 3, 4, 5x. Probably in the whole bull run, if we go to 100K, we make 5x. Like we go a bit above 100K, we make 5x. Maybe we go to 200, okay, we make 10x. But this is not why you watch this video. You want to see the 100x tokens. And these 100x tokens are not found in the Bitcoin ecosystem. This is why I am showing you now what actually will be the ecosystems that you need to watch. So we are at DeFi Llama, and DeFi Llama is a very, very good page that I love to look at to do my analysis. You can go to DeFi and you can go to chains. And here you see the top change sorted by total value locked, actually. And what you see here is a list of all these chains. So going all the way down to like networks with below 1 million total value locked. So nothing big happening on these networks, but there are a lot of networks on the top which are very prominent, which have a lot of users that wait to distribute their funds. And when you look here, you see what are the major chains which are host to the protocols that actually are in use in DeFi. And we see Ethereum, obviously the leader here, closely followed by the BNB chain. And the first 8, we could say, the first 8 chains are those where the music is playing, where the users are sharing and exchanging a lot of assets. You see it's sorted by total value locked here. We also have Tronix here. Tronix is kind of surprising for some of you guys probably, but it has only 15 protocols. So it's not really somewhere where a huge altcoin pump will happen, even though we see so much value locked. And I believe it's basically just lend, right? That we see here. Can we open it? Maybe we open it quickly. Yeah, as I said, it's basically just lend and a few other just protocols. Sun, it's basically all by the Tron Foundation itself, most of it actually. And just lend is like 2/3, or yeah, that's a good guess. About 2/3 of the total value locked is actually just lend. So Tronix is therefore not that interesting. Next, we see BNB chain. BNB chain is still definitely a good player. It's easy to access and it has a lot of fans in Asia. Still, it's seen as less quality compared to Ethereum. Therefore, everything that is on BNB chain usually needs to be cross-chain to be a serious player. There is Arbitrum. Arbitrum as the basically runner-up to Ethereum, meanwhile, has exceeded Polygon in the total value locked, is scraping the 1.6 billion here, has a lot of volume, or actually almost as much as BNB chain has. So yeah, you see also here the volume of the Tron chain is not particularly high. We see until number 8, we have the protocols, then it's getting much less. And you see Fantom has still 48 million transaction volume in the 24 hours, while the next one has 3.3 million. So if you want to spot the altcoins that dominate the altcoin market, you need to look here. Arbitrum, I'm saying Polygon is still hot. Avalanche can be hot as well. While it wasn't that hot earlier, like recently, it could get hot again, definitely. We see Optimism and we see Fantom. My 2 favorites here, I say that, yeah, you can know what I think. It's Fantom and it's Arbitrum. I'm using them myself and I'm very convinced that the usability and the functionality and the way it works is very good on these 2 chains. So a lot of users will be attracted, and Arbitrum is the strongest growing here by far. Why is it that way? It's a roll-up that is a layer 2, like a optimistic roll-up to Ethereum. Everything works like on Ethereum. It's super easy for all the protocols to deploy on Arbitrum. This is why they all do that. And we see also native protocols on Arbitrum popping up. Generally speaking, this is why, and my last video I showed it, the Arbitrum airdrop is still something we wait for. So definitely interesting to watch Arbitrum. Next, let me move on to our cryptocurrencies. What was the cryptocurrencies in AI exactly? So artificial intelligent coins. This is something that was a major narrative of the last altcoin run that we saw in the last Bitcoin leg up, or at the moment when Bitcoin was stagnating, whales put money into altcoins. That was the time when these coins pumped, and they kept pumping for quite a while. So we see they all have kind of finished. They are currently waiting. Yeah, we see one of them still pumping, GNY still pumping, but the rest of them kind of waiting for a retrace and waiting that the big money is flowing into them again. I am not that convinced that the AI narrative will stay forever. We saw Andre Cronje on Twitter actually posting this, where it says, please stop asking Fantom about AI. AI and blockchain don't mix. And I think if you read this post here, he has very, very valid points to say why AI and blockchain is not like the real next thing. It's probably just a hype. So be careful what you invest in. When you invest in AI, obviously you can still do it. Pick the big players that do something in this direction, but always think carefully, does this make sense what they do? If you are an investor. What I mean now is long term. If you're a trader, well, wait for the dump of the AI coins and go back in, I guess. So this about the AI. I believe there are certain other hypes coming and are still running. First of them is definitely perpetual coins. Coins, it says here on CoinGecko. It's actually all the tokens that relate to these decentralized exchanges, the DEXs. We have GMX. GMX was trending for a long time already. Many channels, many people that are deep in crypto have already talked about GMX earlier. I don't want to pump up this video with a lot of content about GMX. We see DYDX, we see Gains Farm, Gains Network, we see TracerDAO, MUX protocol, Perpetual protocol. We see a lot of others. One of my favorites, Mummy. It's on Fantom. It's basically just a fork of GMX. Again, I think I showed you last time already. If you want to find forks, go to DeFi Llama and search for the forks here. GMX forks. They are usually existing on most chains. Meanwhile, we see on Fantom there is Mummy Finance. We see other. Every chain gets their perpetual exchange now, their DEX that is working in a similar way as GMX did. GMX still growing. The next narrative that I see very strong now is zero knowledge rollups. We see a lot of zero knowledge protocols. Polygon working on something like that. I think it actually is launching now. Immutable X, obviously the gaming chain, but we see also other players like Dusk Network I have spotted recently. Mute. We can also check the tokenomics of the coins here again. If you activate the fully diluted value, the market cap divided by fully diluted value, then you get this off shift, very strong player here. We see the tokenomics of some of them are getting better compared to earlier when they launched and had a lot of token emissions going on. So zero knowledge, definitely one of these narratives. Then there is PriFi. Offshift is doing something like this, privacy layer for Ethereum, privacy layer for networks. I think on BNB chain it's as well. This one very, very interesting. Check it out closely on their Twitter. There are a lot of content pieces like videos on how it actually works. I think it's a very smart project, something that you should look close to when it comes to PriFi. I think they have it also here in Twitter, XFT. pioneering TriFi on Ethereum layer 1. Check out their recent videos. I think I watched one of them. Very, very interesting. Offshift Academy. Yeah. Go there, watch this, check out their content, smart stuff that they do, and definitely something to watch. When it comes to privacy, I also see a very strong player being Rhodes, Oasis Network. They're building a privacy layer for Ethereum as well. While Oasis protocol, Oasis network, sorry, Oasis, is building the privacy layer for dApps, as far as I know. Offshift does it for the assets themselves, so it's not directly compatible, it's not directly competition to each other, but both projects definitely something to be to pay close attention to and to think about what they can achieve, what can they reach. Market cap fairly low. I mean, Offshift is like a theft at this point, I guess. It's theft. I promise you. Yeah, Offshift is theft. It's like 34 million totally diluted, and this is all already with all the tokens on the market. So this is nothing. They only have 10 million tokens in the end. So check that out. What else did we miss? We missed stable coins. Yeah, stable coins. As the crackdown on BUSD, probably USDC, and all the American companies in US dollars see problems, we could see a shift to other major currencies like the euro, the Japanese yen, or some other like Swiss franc or some hard currencies probably. I guess we see more different stable coins. My personal wish, again, CZ Binance bring us a gold coin, like a gold stable coin that we can always move our funds back to, because why should we trade with a shit coin like fiat if we can have gold? So CZ Binance, talk with Peter Schiff. I think you too can figure out how to do that. There needs to be probably a good storage for gold, secure, I don't know, in Switzerland, in some mountains, or maybe in Austria, we can do it as well. Have some very secure storage for the gold that is backing the assets then that you can trade on Binance and on other exchanges. For the stable coins, it definitely is a question of which one gets adoption. It needs to be tradable on exchanges. It needs to be transferable between exchanges from wallets to wallets, and the liquidity needs to be very, very high everywhere. This is when a stable coin is getting adoption and is used, and then it can grow and become the major next player after US dollar Tether, Binance US dollar, and the USDC. This being said, I think Curve is definitely something we should look at. They are currently at 59 rank. They are quite expensive, but still you need to think when Bitcoin goes to several trillion market cap, this can still pump a lot. And Curve, why do I show you Curve? Because they are actually releasing a new decentralized stablecoin comparable. I didn't do the research yet how it works. I just saw the news yesterday, I think. So I need to read about it, what it actually does. But I can see it's comparable with DAI, probably a better version of DAI, while DAI is still here. So let's face it, right? One thing is sure, we will definitely see alternatives. And let me show you quickly. I need to show you, I think I talked with Binance, with CZ Binance actually in his AMA about it. I asked him the question, when you still didn't listen to it, go to Binance. I think they have a recording of it. When was that? CZ, help me, CZ. I think they deleted it. Did they delete it? Did they delete the space? Did they really do it? Yeah, but here is me. Look, And I was asking CSAT very concrete questions about a gold coin, a potential one, or other alternatives that he can think of. And he was giving very, very smart answers that they look into so many different things. I believe Binance definitely is behind the doors already rolling out a new stablecoin solution for us that will find big adoption. When Binance uses it, it will find big adoption. Currently, it's USDT and BUSD. So whatever comes next could replace the BUSD pairs and has a huge potential to come there. And one more narrative we definitely need to look at is the layer ones. Obviously, it's not a narrative, especially a narrative, but layer ones are just here, and they're here to stay. And whenever the markets dump, layer ones dump less than the tokens built on them. So layer ones are the safe haven of every chain. When you trade on Fantom, you move back into Fantom. When you trade on Binance, you trade back into BNB. On Ethereum, on Arbitrum, you trade back into Ethereum. So these, especially when they find adoption, when they find users and dApps being used on them, then they are the gas token, and they also are the reserve token of this chain. So the bigger the chain, the more relevant, obviously, but overall, layer ones are always a narrative. Don't be fooled by all the narratives and run after them. This is something that we will see continue, I'm pretty sure. There will be competitors to Ethereum also in this bull market until the very end. Some of them might do smart marketing or pump-a-mandals, as we say in crypto, and they could actually and will probably outperform Ethereum also in the run. That doesn't say that I believe it will be the winner and the Ethereum killer, right? So just keep that in mind. Okay, last but not least, before I talk too much, let's really move into the top picks of altcoins that I have found for you. Maybe I'll show you like 5 or something. Let me check quickly, playing into the narrative. We have GMX. I already showed you GMX. This is definitely a strong one. Right now, we are in price discovery. That means a new all-time high has been made. We have broken this all-time high. Don't count this weird spike here. We have crashed this all-time high. We went up, and usually we should go much higher from here. We have no major resistance here in the top, so we should go towards the 100. I believe that this is something we will definitely see during the next months, that GMT will go to the hundreds. It has shown a lot of strength, and it has surprised many actually that it moved up much faster than we thought. It sustained all the dumps basically and just continued to move up slowly but steadily. And the great value of this protocol, you need to understand it. Read up on GMX, and you will also probably take a position on it, because it just is the crackdown on ZEXs. So we need to go into DEXs, and GMX has shown an answer for that. Next, before I lose my voice here, let's move on to JonesDAO. JonesDAO actually made 20% today. I didn't think that, I didn't see that before I started. When I started the video, it was still like somewhat down, because it has seen a significant pump since I checked it. And also JonesDAO is going to new highs. I think it's not all-time highs because it was already launched earlier. Yeah, JonesDAO has seen higher highs before. So we see the next level here in the 650 around, probably, where we definitely will shoot to, where we could see some resistance, but also a very good level to stagnate and consolidate a bit. So take a look at JonesDAO. I think it's Arbitrum native. So if you look for Arbitrum coins, pick Arbitrum here and check the trending ones. Psy was only launched a few days ago, actually. It's very, very new, as you see here. Let's go down to the date. It was only launched on 5th of February. So yeah, it's very, very hard to say how high it can go. It's on price discovery currently. The market cap is super, super low. The volume is almost 1 million. It's very, very significant for such a small project. But also check this out. You can go to Twitter here. It's obviously a very good choice to find some late news about it. Or you go to web. From a chart analysis, it definitely looks like on price discovery. So something to let go a bit, like let it run, let it pump, respect the pump. I think some YouTuber says always respect the pump. And I say as well, respect the pump, always respect the pump. Let it go a bit. And yeah, take a position if you dare. It's your decision. It's your decision if you do it. No financial advice, but that looks very pumpy to me. I think they have very good tokenomics, that a lot of tokens have been burned. I think I read on Twitter, like from 9 or 10 million tokens, there have been half of them or something have been burned within a very, very short time, or are projected to be burned because of the burn mechanism and the current burn rate in these days. So very, very deflationary, could go much, much higher from here. Then we can look at Cyber Token. Cyber Token is also from a DEX. Let's check it out. Cyber Swap, another decentralized exchange on Arbitrum. We also see it pump here. I have checked the tokenomics earlier. They're not as good as of the others, but look at this, how pumpy that looks. So whenever that runs, Cyber could really also do like 100% or more and double your bag, basically. It's trending at number 1 now. It's Grail. And Grail is exactly what I am talking about here. So when I looked at Grail first, like in January, we were at, let me see, like 200, 300 or something. No, sorry, I didn't find it. I found it here. End of January, I found it here at around 500. And I looked at the project. Super, super solid DEX, nice design, great marketing, volume increasing, total value locked, everything super, super promising. And I was looking for the dip to this level here. I thought like, hey, let's get a position at like 400, like front run it a bit, take it at 400, bit over 400. I can't remember. And it just didn't start. It just stopped to dump at 415, right? Or 420. It just stopped to dump. And my position was never taken. And I saw it running. I saw it running for like 2 weeks. No joke. I think it's, yeah, seriously, it has been almost 2 weeks. It was exactly 2 weeks. It was exactly until the 14th, exactly 2 weeks. This has been pumping from here, 400, all the way up to 3,300. And I was so salty about missing this. So I looked at other options, and then I found Vela. Vela actually just launched the public version of their DEX, and they are super pumpy as well. Look at that. Vela is an exchange token for this DEX. It's also a DEX. It's the governance token. It's also, you can stake it there to participate in the DEX. And similar to GMX, you can mint the VLP, I think they're called. Yeah, and these VLP are very, very similar to the GMX GLP. So you're holding a certain amount of major coins and stable coins, and these are used as liquidity on the DEX. And for the liquidity providing, you earn a share of the revenue from the fees on the DEX. On the other hand, you are kind of balancing out your risk because you're holding a basket of different major cryptos and stable coins. So when it goes up, you might lose some of the pump, but when it goes down, you de-risk and you lose much less. So it's kind of for conservative investing, you could say, while DeFi is not very conservative, but on the other hand, the way like the risk level from upside and downside perspective is rather conservative. But staking into DeFi always has a certain risk. Keep that in mind. Then we have, what else do we have? Let's see. I showed you Grail, I showed you Psy. Like we need to watch them all. Like we cannot forget them. Yeah, Mummy. Mummy is the Fantom fork of GMX. And since Fantom is one of the protocols that are used strongly, or networks, and there are built so many protocols on, there's a lot of DeFi happening and trading, and Mummy kind of does the same as GMX. They have the MLP token, so also this one. For the DEX narrative, I believe the DEX narrative is one of the strongest besides the CK rollup one. If you want to go into this, check out Mummy token. I found for you also the same on BNB. BNB knows level, and level is also just shooting up. So whatever you do today, whatever you do after you finished watching this video, do research on all these DEX coins that are sharing revenue with the users, with the liquidity providers. This is amazing. This is the purpose of decentralization, right? This is how it works. And this is why I'm a big fan of it. We saw with, I think with Geist, we saw that earlier already, Geist Finance. It's currently not that strong. I think the lending, there's not so much lending and borrowing happening there, so the interest rate is not that great. Actually, it doesn't look that bad, but yeah, it's very cheap, and it's super cheap. And Geist did that as well. They kind of forked Aave, and they said we want that the Geist holders that lock their Geist in the protocol, that they participate in the fees that we make. You could continuously earn here. I'm a big Geist fan. I'm holding these as well. I'm hodled them a bit down and now up. So yeah, check out Geist as well. Yeah, so all the way Fantom and Arbitrum. Jones DAO, Psy, Radiant is actually, I think it's like Geist on Arbitrum. It's also pumping again, like it's going to new all-time highs. You need to see if this is outtaken. It can go to 50 like at any moment, right? So these days you need to spend some time to do research, and then you take a position if you are in this crypto game. Obviously, nothing of this video was financial advice, just saying this one more time. And this being said, until next time, I wish you all the best. Your Alex.